¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Can I see you a minute, please? 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 Can I see you a minute, please?
Welcome to the Tuesday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Tuesday. Welcome, everybody. Give me 1 second. Welcome. It's okay. I was gonna try to close the windows, but, you know, it's alright. Welcome, everybody. We definitely have a few things to go through today. And afterwards, I gotta head to the store. Alright, folks. Let me get this show started. The State of the Union is tonight, 9 p.m. Of course, conservatives are really pushing the issues that matter.
Conservative media propaganda.
Oh, also, just before we start, thank you to Lost 2 for giving a shout out in his channel. I appreciate that. Thank you. Alio with the 10 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let me go close that now that I have the chance.
Propagandists once again found some reason to freak out about nothing. This time over Sam Smith's performance at the Grammys.
Actually, hold on, folks. Before I even get to that, 1 second, please. The calm and gentle MTG. Maybe this is about her. I don't know. We'll see.
But before I even get to some of this, I didn't watch the Grammys. I saw this performance only because it became a topic for some people. But ultimately, I kind of stopped caring about the Grammys once they snubbed The Weeknd a couple of years ago for Album of the Year. But anyways, the Grammys to me, not important anymore. But I do want to show you some of the reaction here because this is just so... Like, we're harkening back to the freak out over Elvis Presley and his dancing hips that were too hot for television. That's the level that we are at right now with some of this trash. So let's start with Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
Saying the Grammys' annual trolling of traditionally moral people continue to pace this year with a full-on satanic performance from two white men, Sam Smith and Kim Petras. So I'll be honest. Look, I'm old. I had no idea who the hell this was. Apparently, she is a
annual trolling of traditional moral people continue to pace this year with the full-on satanic. Traditionally moral people? What does that even mean? What is a traditionally moral person? What the fuck does that even mean? Except this is Ben Shapiro, so obviously he doesn't mean everybody. He means Christian or Orthodox, like people, like a traditional Orthodox Jewish and well, Christian people. That's what he's talking about when he means he can't. He doesn't. He's too much of a coward to just actually say it. But he's basically saying that only traditionally moral the Grammys are doing this to troll traditionally moral people. No, the Grammys are there to put on like a show for awards for artists. So yeah, you're gonna get some artistic performances, and yeah, if you have a song called Unholy, chances are the performance or the visual aspect of it is going to be of some sort of, devil or whatnot. But, like, nobody gives a shit except these people.
Trans woman, performer, musician, artist.
What Ben wants is a church service? Yeah, I mean, what Ben wants is a theocratic authoritarian state. That's what Ben wants.
She ended up actually becoming the first. Kim Petras, a transgender woman, won the Grammy for Best Pop Duo. The German pop singer who accepted the award with Sam Smith for Unholy announced that she was the first transgender woman to win a Grammy in the Best Pop Duo and Group Performance category. So, there we go. Breaking some ground. Cool stuff. Ben Shapiro goes on and on.
Jesus Christ.
And on over this. Over post after post. In fact, he dedicated apparently his entire show today to this performance, getting satanic at the Grammys. So I can't show you the full... I can't imagine I can show you the actual performance, otherwise the Grammys will copyright strike me. But I'll show you some, screenshots from the performance. It's just Sam Smith with some devil horns with fire and...
Ground level news, how's it going? Get a grip, Ben? No. He needs to continue to push this garbage out because it's Ben Shapiro, folks. This is conservatism. What can I say?
Red lights. Singing a song. This is... How is this any different from music over the past 100 years? It is just completely bizarre. There's any freaking about this. And as I pointed to, Elvis Presley nearly got arrested for his suggestive dance moves. So I'm sure you all already know about this, but if you want to read about it, I link to all my sources below the video. There was a freak out, of course, over Elvis Presley. Not to mention, I'll get to some other examples later on in this video of other so-called satanic music, but more freakouts here. Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire, another clown,
of course,
writes here, it's not surprising to see a satanic ritual at the Grammys.
So just to be clear, this was not a satanic ritual by any means. I'm pretty sure none of those two are Satanists. Second of all, it wouldn't matter Third of all, it was a fucking performance of a song called Unholy. I mean, like, first it was like the sexy or lack thereof M&Ms that caused like a bunch of discourse apparently among the conservatives, because you know that's really the important things to talk about, the sexiness or not sexiness of the M&M characters apparently. Of course, Tucker Carlson going on several segments about this. Then it was the radical green agenda that Microsoft is pushing by creating a power save feature on the Xbox. Yeah. That was the center of several Fox News segments and shows. And now we have the performance of a song in the Grammys that's apparently causing an uproar in conservative circles because no one else really gives a shit. I mean, it just goes to show, like, conservatives have really nothing to add at all. They're resorting to making all this discourse, all this brouhaha over a fucking Grammys performance. That's it. That's the level of reach that these people need to do to attempt to in an attempt to be outraged about something, about literally something, anything, and of course, you know, nothing about how to solve any actual problems, nothing about how to solve the climate crisis, nothing about how to solve the economic problems that the working class is going through. No, we've got to talk about the Grammys performance of a song. That's true. Conservatives do get caught in the most well, I mean, like, I think that the reason why it's such a scandal when conservatives get caught is not because, you know, oh, ex-representative got caught in some kind of, you know, scandal of, you know, an affair or something. It's the hypocrisy, right? That's really what it is. It's the hypocrisy. And I guess that's what makes it more, Satanism is OP, please nerf. True. Wait, is this about Sam Smith's performance of Unholy? Yes. This entire discourse going around conservatives, like Matt Walsh and Ben Shapiro, is literally about a performance in the Grammys. Yes, they have literally nothing to talk else to engage with. That's it. Well, because they don't really have anything to engage with. I mean, other than an attempt to manufacture outrage, they really have nothing of value. Conservatism has basically nothing of value, except to try to create outrage out of nothing. As I was saying, you know, there was the M&M discourse, the green agenda by Microsoft, because they introduced a power saving mode to the Xbox, yes. And now the Unholy performance. Really the issue is about the person singing with? Is Sam is trans? Maybe that's the you know, bottom line. But yeah, maybe that's what it is. But like most of it's just focused on like the whole satanic thing. Because these like theocratic clowns can't see it past that. But yeah, maybe there's an element to that.
Satanism is the worship of the self.
No, Satanism isn't the worship of the self. Pretty sure it's something else, but not that. Most modern pop music is satanic in this sense. Leftism is Satanism. Wait, but I thought leftism is collectivist. So, like, do you see how, like, fascist ideology is so contradictory? How in one single... Yes, it is the first openly trans person to win a Grammy. Yes. And do you see how, like, contradictory this is? In one hand, they complain about collectivism and how it's bad and blah blah blah. Leftists are collectivists and collectivism is bad. But on the same breath, these people will say Satanism is the worship of the self and leftism is Satanism. So by their logic, that means leftism is worship of the self. But that can't be if you're claiming simultaneously that leftism is a collectivist ideology. The memes write themselves, folks. Satan does do better work. I mean, Satan is doing the Lord's work, okay? Satan is out here doing the Lord's work. Have you read the Satanic Bible? It's all about, like, being as human as possible. And being kind to each other. Too bad the right wing saw the video. The song is a banger. Yeah, I mean, like, it again, they're manufacturing outrage out of literally nothing. Literally nothing. It's a performance of a song called Unholy. But whatever. Yeah, Matt Walsh here, super mega clown, just kind of illustrating this idea of how fascism is so contradictory. It's inherently contradictory.
Yes, because we all know conservatives are about the collective. They really want universal health care, properly funded public education, free college for all. These are the issues that the right cares about.
Right, again, and like the inherent contradiction about like how collectivism is bad. Collectivism is usually a left-wing, well, collectivism is generally, the left wing is generally described as collectivist, right? And the right wing decries collectivism and attempts to make the argument for individualism, right? This is the entire like structure of the Ayn Rand kind of libertarian ideology. But at the same time, you're having the same clowns with massive audiences now telling you that actually it is satanic. Individualism is satanic. The worship of the self, isn't that the ultimate individualistic crux of the individualism? It's to, well, effectively, yeah, you're worshiping the self. In other words, the individual is sacred. Nothing is above the individual. That is what the libertarians talk about, individualism. But here we have conservatives now saying, well, actually, it's satanic. The worship of the self is satanic. Individualism is Satanism, apparently. And now leftism is individualism, but okay, whatever. Satan does get a bad rap, true. If you want to mess with the right wing, just remind them that Lucifer was God's favorite angel, true. One could say Lucifer is doing God a favor, true. When I was a kid, my fundamentalist Mormon parents had a Satanic Panic sort of tape they would play in the car that would play different rock and pop records backwards to show you all the hidden satanic messages. Yeah, that used to be a thing, particularly in like the 80s, 90s kind of deal. This is very, very akin to that. Very akin to that. These people are way off base, to say the least.
Satanism, or sorry, I read that already. Much of modern pop music is satanic in this sense. Leftism is Satanism. The only change is that now they're being more explicit about it. There's really not much to even say here because if you're watching this video, I hope I don't have to explain how these people are fucking crazy. You could just see this for yourself. This is me just show and tell. Showing you the ridiculousness and telling what I can here, but I think most of this speaks for itself. He goes on, this is the same post. Oh no, it's a different post. More of the self. Theological Satanism is not very common, but the worship of the self, what we might call secular Satanism, is the predominant religion in our culture, and most of the art we produce is meant to preach this gospel. Which I'm not even, no, like, art is a representation of that individual, their perspective, and
yeah, of course. The issue here, again, is to point out how, like, incoherent these clowns are. You can't claim to be an individualist and also decry the idea that we should worship the self. Echo Wrestler Dragon, how's it going? If you want to believe in God, fine. Just don't expect me to respect your intellect. True. I saw a vid from Second Thought. I think about how conservatives co-opted Christianity was a devastating analysis. Yeah, I mean, to a degree, I think so. But like, I mean, the religion itself is kind of the groundwork for the potential authoritarian kind of tendencies is kind of there, right? Like, no matter what, which way you want to slice it, like, it always tends to swing in that authoritarian way. I mean, of course, there are exceptions to that. And, like, even the religion itself, in some cases, expresses, ideas like freedom. One could even say left-leaning ideas about, like, forgiving debt, taking care of the poor, loving thy neighbor, so on and so forth. But, I mean, look at mostly the applications of Christianity has been to authoritarian ends. It was more than that? Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, maybe we can watch that at some point. Jesus Christ. Yeah, if you go to Matt Walsh's Twitter, oh my god, what a cesspool. Look at this garbage. Look at the kind of garbage that's being posted in his Twitter. Hey, Cosmic Seeking, how's it going? I'm just lurking today, no problem. And of course, here he is retweeting, Alex Jones.
Human civilizations for thousands and thousands upon thousands of years follow a cycle of death and rebirth. And always at the end of a civilization, open devil worship, Satan worship begins.
That's a meme. That's not a thing. Just to be clear, chat, that's not a thing. Hey, Amberlyn, how's it going?
And the left will claim, oh, that's a Christian construct, the devil. No, it's not. It's in every culture, in every age. And when you start seeing...
No. That's not true either. The concept of devil is almost exclusively from like the Abrahamic religions. Exclusively. When you talk about the devil or Satan or whatever, it's pretty understood that most of the time you're talking about like in the context of Abrahamic religions. Other religions didn't even have a concept of the devil at all.
The type of rituals being conducted in public.
True, I remember those Egyptian Satanists running wild all over the place. Yeah, true. Right before the fall of the Egyptian Empire, it's exactly what happened. The same thing with like the Roman Empire. Yeah, it's exactly what happened. The Ottoman Empire.
By the establishment, they are ushering in everyone's destruction, and Satan knows exactly what he's doing.
True. Mayan Satanists, true. True. Things that happen. Alex makes me sick to my very pit of my stomach. Good. That's the exact response that one should have whenever hearing Alex Jones. That is the exact response when you hear Alex Jones, but I appreciate your work. Thank you. I appreciate it. Well, Jones is definitely wrong. Surprise, surprise. Yep. Wait, what? That was sexist. Why does Satan have to be a he? True. Satan, and like, it's funny because like, you know, these clowns will talk about like religion, and whenever they describe these beings, they are quite humanistic. God is a he. Yeah. The first mention of hell wasn't until the 8th century AD. Yeah, like I said, Alex Jones is just wrong. Alex Jones and Lindell are being sued out of existence. Oh, I hope so. I hope that ends up being the case. I hope that as those judgments start coming, Alex Jones lost a ton of money, but, you know, we'll see how that goes about actually dispersing that money. But yeah, I hope so. Honestly, the best outcome is that these clowns get sued out of existence and just kind of removed. Wow, artists being intentionally edgy? Yeah, who'd have seen this coming? Wow, this has literally never happened before. Yeah, true. This literally has never happened before. Especially while performing a song called Unholy. Yeah, true. especially making some type of like visual performance with the song called Unholy. True.
Fat men saying they're women, dressed like clowns.
What?
Being worshipped on stage.
But
that is the uniform of these individuals, showing women sex slaves in cages.
They're not sex
being
slaves.
Beaten by female devils with bullwhips. Human civilizations for thousands.
What? They did the same shit after Lil Nas. Yep. Yeah, it's the same bullshit. It's the same rehashed satanic panic nonsense. Greetings from northeastern Pennsylvania. How's it going? Alex Jones calling anyone else a clown? True. That's also rich. Yes, good point, Mono. Alex Jones calling anyone else a clown is incredibly rich. But yeah, this is the kind of shit that Matt Walsh is tweeting. I mean, yeah. I missed this, but had people on my Facebook going crazy over it. Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing there to say other than, like, we're here to kind of laugh at these clowns. It's like the same bullshit. Like, I mean, how desperate are conservatives that this is the kind of discourse that they need to talk about, is basically what I'm arguing. True. Mono. I saw in the news that Hassan was defending playing Hogwarts Legacy. I'm not sure that's going to work out for him. Yeesh. At least I wish he was funny. I personally don't find him funny. I wish he was funny. The only times I like laugh is when like the meme songs of Alex Jones come up. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. Yeah, this is where we were originally. Theological Satanism is not very common. What is theological Satanism? Like an actual religion based upon the worship of a deity called Satan, but then you would have to admit that Satan is a deity as well, and that maybe there are. So then this whole Christianity thing kind of falls apart because, well, isn't that by admission meaning that there's more than one God, or meaning that there's more than one deity out there? Nah, there's a comedy to him for sure. It's in his line. It's all in his line delivery, I guess. I don't mind this discourse being out there. What I do mind is that they target kids with this disgusting content. True. It was the Christian extreme type. I tried to follow the post on one, but I got lost. Oh yeah, no. Yeah, these people are flipping out. But yeah, I mean, of course, Maple Leaf Dragon, the conservatives, or would want to target younger people.
In relation to how they experience culture like...
So, what the heck is theological Satanism versus, like, secular Satanism? Is there, like, a secular Christianity? There is no God, but if I turn out to be wrong, fine, send me to hell so I can join Satan in bringing this evil jerk down. True. Yeah, because, like, imagine a scenario. Imagine a scenario where God is real, and you get up there and be like, hey, you know what? I got questions for you. What the fuck, man? Cancer? In kids? Wars? Famines? Didn't you wipe out, like, the human race, like, twice or 3 times? Nah, send me down there, fuck it. Satanism is isn't the predominant religion, and we would unironically be better off if it was. If everyone truly had their own interests in mind, we'd have more people making choices that benefit their local communities where they live. As it stands, we have people straight up voting against their own interests for my team. I mean, yeah, well, that's not a problem with, like, well, the issue is that, then they're not, focusing on their own interests, but for the sake of, ideology. But that's not really, a verdict on, like, individualism, right? Or I should say the other way around. I don't know. Theological Satan means Lucifer is real. Secular is basically like treating like witchcraft as a discipline. Gotcha. But then if you admit that that there is such a thing as like a theology, or I guess a religion behind Satan, then he must be some type of deity. It's a niche thing? Gotcha. I remember something about Satanic Temple recently doing charity work regionally and internationally. Anyone else remember that? I mean, the Satanic Temple does things like that.
Life, the world, love, hate, like it's everything. I'm not even sure what what the issue here is. But again, there's It's an attempt here to try and create.
The issue, there is no issue. They're just manufacturing outrage for the sake of outrage. That's it. It's this thing that you're supposed to be mad about, and then as the previous tweet said, then redirect that to it being the left's, fault, and you should be angry about something. In this case, you should be angry about a Grammys performance. That's what you should be angry about. The Satanic Temple doesn't believe in Satan. They just believe in fucking with Christianity, which I'm all for. True. Satanic Temple is more progressive atheistic Satanism than there's the original Leviathan. Oh, good lord. No, this is way too much. There's a bunch of different sects, I guess. LeVay had Nazi friends who he claimed he was using. Sheesh.
A narrative out of nothing. And it honestly, strategically for them, I don't know how this benefits them. Who is welcomed into this discussion with absurd reactions like this to just very normal things?
The war in Ukraine forced my family to flee.
Right-wingers are all claiming to be experts in theology, epidemiology, economics, and whatever subject they need to fit their needs, in whatever subject they need to fit their needs exactly, and end up being actually not experts in any of those.
Cruz. We all know Senator Ted Cruz. This is evil.
True. A Grammy performance of a song called Unholy is evil. Evil. Oh, man. Good memes.
Trying to be very dramatic here with the ... Charlie Kirk here. The Devil. Brought to you by Pfizer. Charlie Kirk supports the Republican Party. The Republican Party blocked an insulin price cap for all patients. It ended up, Democrats were only able to pass it.
Right. So, actually, the Republicans, by their actions, are pretty pro-Big Pharma. And he's retweeting Liz Wheeler, who's quoted there. Don't fight the culture wars, they say. Meanwhile, demons are teaching your kids, a fucking Grammy performance to worship Satan. True. If you watch this video, it is actually a step-by-step instruction manual on how to worship Satan for kids. True. The lack of thinking critical skills on the right, either it's a human defect or education failed them or society failed them, but it's becoming a problem for the entire world now. Yeah, I mean, I would say that it's probably the education and just kind of society has led to the proliferation of this, because like, holy yikes, if this is the discourse on the right, folks. No, I don't think that's what they said, though. I don't think that they said it's only a problem with the right, but it's becoming a massive problem. McCarthy saying household budget. How the U.S. government is not a household budget. Yeah, that's true.
Is evil. Trying to be very dramatic here with the ... Charlie Kirk here. The Devil. Brought to you by Pfizer. Charlie Kirk supports the Republican Party. The Republican Party blocked an insulin price cap for
There's no point in
all
critically thinking.
patients.
You'll lose
It ended
subscribers
up,
for
Democrats
posting
were only
cringe.
able
True.
to pass it for seniors on Medicare. And even after that happened, Republicans attempted to block that. This is from October. Senate Republicans Friday introduced a bill that would roll back the drug pricing reforms included in the sweeping Inflation Reduction Act, including the measures allowing Medicare to negotiate drug prices and
Right. So, like, you can't simultaneously. You can't simultaneously. You can't simultaneously be like, oh, brought to you by Pfizer, which is like the implication is like, you know, big pharma, whatever, and also support the Republican Party who's pro big pharma. It's a good meme. Alio with the 10 biddies. For the clown in chat that just got immediately removed by PasadaBot, I have a question. Is it normal for a human being to think dancing around in a devil suit with a trans person with him is okay? Yeah. Yeah, what's wrong with that? It's a performance. Yeah. Bye. I just had to bring my aircraft carrier to the garage to rotate the fighter jets and top the nuclear reactor. Nice. Exactly. It's called a performance.
capping annual drug expenses for many seniors. Republicans are the party of big pharma. Now you can argue both parties don't do enough, and that is accurate. Democrats definitely did not do enough.
I'm forced to
but
stand.
the idea that Republicans are are on the opposite end of that discussion, trying to push back against big pharma and their control over the industry and price hikes and all that is completely
Sounds
insane.
like a great night. True.
But again, this is at least an attempt here, dishonest attempt, of course, but an attempt here to try and fit this into a larger narrative about something else. Because I think Charlie Kirk is at least aware that complaining about Sam Smith's performance on its own isn't all that
Yeah, it isn't all that interesting. But like, yeah, so this is the Republican strategy, right? You build an outrage out of something, the green agenda that Microsoft is pushing by, creating a power save mode for your Xbox, and then like redirect that to make it somehow the left's fault and continue the outrage machine. And every week, I'm sure they'll find something else to be outraged about. And in this case, it's a literal performance. That's it.
beneficial for the right to do. But Liz Wheeler here, another conservative, says, don't fight the culture wars, they say. Meanwhile, demons are teaching your kids to worship Satan.
True. I like that edit, Mono. The right-wing pundits to tell the Grammys, yeah, like, whatever, dude. First of all, like, this isn't a Christian country. There is no official religion. This is not a theocracy, despite what Charlie Kirk, despite what Ted Cruz and all these conservatives want. This is not a theocracy. So really, their opinions don't matter.
I could throw up. Okay, whatever. This is the performance. Wow, there's some fire on stage. That's never happened before.
Actually, worship looks much more boring.
No artist has ever had fire explode on stage, or had red lighting, or wore devil horns. These are all unique things that have only happened this one time. Oh my God. Satan worship.
No!
Or it's a performance.
Wait until they start investigating Hunter Biden and posters of his schlong get displayed in Congress. Yeah, that's really the only congressional investigation that I'm waiting for. All right, that's the investigation of the year. Okay, we need to know. We need to know. So if that's what Republicans want to investigate, I mean that's what those are the questions that really need to be answered. Nick Crowley had his top tier fashion choice. True. Is there there was among Highway to Hell's a song even? True.
It's from an artist. Here's some other some other satanic music here. The Rolling Stones, Sympathy for the Devil, you say?
Oh, no.
I don't know. Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil. Well, maybe they're angry with the devil, so that's against the devil. So Motley Crue, we're okay with Motley Crue.
Running with the devil.
Running with the devil. Van Halen.
D&D is turning your kids into serial killers. True. I swear Satan is definitely not lead in gasoline. Look over there, squirrel. True. Grammy Award for Best Contemporary Christian Music Performance is a category of the annual Grammy Awards. It was the first award in 2015. There you go. See, they got representation. I hope during the congressional Hunter Biden hearing, one of the Dems call for regular hand checks.
Sounds pretty satanic to me. Grateful Dead, Friend of the Devil. AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Oh my God. If Twitter existed and Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and these clowns existed back in the 70s, they would have lost their goddamn minds.
Yeah, you 100%. Why are we investigating Hunter Biden? Seriously, I don't understand. He's not even part of the government. I don't know. It doesn't have to make sense, Hambliss.
Now we simply have Sam Smith and another artist dancing on stage with some red lighting and some fire, and that is apparently supposed to... Sorry, the song is called... I think the song is called Unholy. Really pushing the envelope there. This stuff is so absolutely ridiculous, but it's fun to point and laugh because these sorts of moments really give you a window into how unserious these individuals are on every topic.
Yeah, and the desperation, right? Because there's no talk of policy coming from the right, not very substantial talk of policy. It's all bullshit. True. Next, let's have a congressional investigation of Susan down the street from me. I never liked her. True. Yeah. Really working for the American people, huh?
If they're going to be this ridiculous about a performance at the Grammys, then how can you possibly take them seriously about anything else?
Well, I mean, reasonable people don't. Unfortunately, there's tens of millions of people that are unreasonable and completely, essentially divorced from reality that actually, accept this. That's the problem. Rational people like us look at this and obviously laugh and point out how ridiculous and clownish this is to have a full-on meltdown because of a fucking performance. But the problem is that tens of millions of people unironically believe what they're saying. That's the issue here. It's sad that the one sort of piece of policy coming from the GOP was brought up by Matt Gaetz. Oh, Lord. Yeah, let's just shift gears really quickly.
I am Jesse Dollemore sitting in for David Pakman while he is away. My final day here with you. Listen, I talk a lot about Christian nationalism and the emerging threat.
I think this is a good segue. I think this is a good segue.
The under-talked about and the underappreciated threat of white Christian nationalism in this country. It has been a decades-long priority and objective to be met by these Christian nationalists to intertwine themselves into government in an effort to take over the government, to force their Christo-fascist views on the rest of us. Are you Jewish? That should concern you. Are you a nun? You don't have faith? in whatever religious tradition, it should concern you. Even if you're a Christian, it should concern.
Yeah, like basically what he's describing is like dominionism. I mean, alternative facts, they might as well become, yeah, I mean, they basically are. They're indistinguishable from flat earthers. It's the same, it's on the same level.
You, because the flavor of Christianity, the doctrinal point of view, will likely not be the one you share, and it will be imposed upon you.
Please clap.
And there are many, I mean, we have several, dozens of members of Congress who are now avowed Christian nationalists, who will jettison any adherence, any loyalty, any solemn vow and oath they took to the Constitution, and who cares? Because my flavor of Christianity will rule. It is a dominionism you should research. And I'm going to play this clip of this Jason Rapert, former Arkansas state legislator, pastor, who is instructing his audience that we must take authority over the government.
Oh, my bad. I knew that. Of course I did. There's an ice wall ring that keeps that keeps the water in. True. I'm glad you're subscribed to the Beckosphere. You got that cat emote. Obey Andre. What is that? I don't know what Obey Andre means. Silenced by divine force is true. Or, you know, unless you consider me a divine force, then yeah, I guess so.
Do you think that America is going to be free with a bunch of drag queens running the place?
True. Drag queens do indeed run the country. True. That's right. Drag queens do run the country. This is a fact of life. God did it to you. He made you mute yourself. Gotcha. Make me dab. All right. You have made me dab, sir.
It is fear-mongering, but it is a call to action. This isn't passive. Well, if we end up with the majority, maybe we can do some good. This is an active movement to overtake the government and rule. Watch this clip from Jason Rapert.
We must take authority. God told us to go out there and be fruitful, multiply. Fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion over everything.
Red flag.
Fill the earth, subdue it, to take authority. And friends, the reason the country is struggling, the reason you...
So... no, humans cannot just take... Humans cannot, like, bend Mother Nature, okay? It's the other way around. This guy's barely literate. True.
We've got $32 trillion in debt, no holds barred. The reason we come to brinksmanship over and over again on the national debt is because the Christians in America have failed to take authority, and
What?
now is the time to choose.
What? The reason why we're in debt is because Christians haven't taken authority? And do what exactly? Okay.
Now is the time to stand. Now is the time to plan. Now is the time to fight.
Cool.
Now is
Casual stochastic terrorism.
the time to work together to save the country. Look, do you think that America is going to be free with a bunch of drag queens running this place?
Yes. Much more freer than with a bunch, much more freer than the alternative option of having someone like, I don't know, you. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Drag queens all day. And this take authority nonsense is because Trump and DeSantis may lose the presidential run. The U.S. will become a, yeah, true. In 2024, the country is going to become a leftist utopia. Next year, folks. Next year. I love how like he cited a Bible verse that says like you're supposed to take dominion over the earth, and then like immediately only talks about America. Okay.
No. Do you think America can remain free and strong with a bunch of Antifa nuts running around destroying property?
True. Yes. Wait, so we are a free country or are we not? I don't know, dude. These people need to really like pick a lane. That's why I said barely literate. True.
No. And if you're tired of that stuff, then it's time to make a change.
True. We went from we went from taking dominion over the earth to talking about the dead to drag queens apparently running this country, which is news to me, to Antifa. Yep. America is the only country that matters. As you think that, did you think about the Antifa nuts? True, I did not. I did not think about the Antifa nuts. True. But they don't act. Oklahoma's transphobic. Is a transphobic hellhole with the new anti-trans care laws. Seems to be like a common theme.
This is a nation of the people, by the people, and for the people.
Wait, so by that statement, so if we just like decided as a country to elect like a bunch of drag queens to office, then would you say the same thing if it's of the people, by the people, and for the people? If they got if we just like elected a bunch of drag queens, so then it should be okay. Yeah, and drag queens are people. Well, except to them they're not. Which is a problem. I'm going bald because not enough of you are Christian. True.
It was created for you to be in charge. A nation of the people, by the people, and for the people. So when we have politicians...
Okay. If that's the case, then we must concede that Biden was elected by the people, for the people, and of the people, right? He won the election, right?
And elected officials that are corrupt, they need to be taken out.
Uh-oh.
Send them to jail. Send them to prison, just like I've seen some people do even while I was serving in the
Yikes.
Arkansas legislature. When you see people like Joe Biden taking advantage of position and enriching his family like he has done, it's time to take them out.
Yeah, this is stochastic terrorism.
Take them out. Remove them. Move them on. It's time to take authority. It's time to take authority over everything in the earth to make a difference.
Of, for, and by the people. This country was made for you. And he's talking to his Christian audience. This country was built for them.
Right. Which, newsflash, it was not. But okie dokie.
They need to take it back and rule the country.
And rule the earth, apparently, but only talk about
We're a
America.
struggling nation. We have a $32 trillion debt. Doesn't mention anything about 25% of that $32 trillion being Donald Trump's responsibility. Doesn't talk about unpaid for tax cuts that led to that 25% share, that stake of our national debt.
Yeah, it was
Talks
to
about
show.
jailing Joe Biden.
True. It was to show the godless commies what freedom means. That's what the under God part was made for, wasn't it? Wasn't it like or am I thinking about the currency? Under God added to the pledge. Yeah, it was in 1954. Yeah, it was in 1954 to essentially I was correct. I just looked it up. It was done in 1954 to show the godless commies what's up. See, Biden is Catholic. He's not even an evangelical like the good people literally sell their souls to worship rich ministers and false idols. True.
Biden for corruption, but ignores the rampant, flagrant corruption of Republicans. Because they're Christians. They are white Christians who also share in his dominionism and his outlook. Subdue the earth. Are we going to be a free country with drag queens running the place?
Heck yeah. Yeah, these people are. This is a death cult. This is a death cult.
Are we going to be a free country with Antifa, with anti-fascist activists out there? Are they taking away freedom? Are drag queens taking away your freedom? Do you feel less free today because drag queens read stories to children in libraries?
True. Morale would be better. True. Have the queens rule. It just makes sense, really. Yep. I mean, it's in their name too, right? They're queens, so fuck it, right?
Jason Rapert.
Like, I am now of the position. I have now changing my ideology, to a monarchist, to a monarchist ideology, where I believe that the only sensible course of action is to have more drag queens in power.
Think so? It's dangerous. And it's not fringe. It's not fringe. This is becoming more and more commonplace, more accepted by virtue of it becoming more commonplace. And it is something that not only we need to keep our eye on, but we need to be ready to combat it where it is.
True. This is a death cult, folks. And it's only getting worse. It's not French, thank God.
Please clap.
I have a Auntie May. What is an Auntie May? Can you explain that? Oh, it's an Antifa joke? Oh. I knew that. course I knew that.
Please clap.
All right. Switching gears. Family files lawsuit against off-duty Kenosha police officer who knelt on a 12-year-old girl's neck. Yep, last year. Nearly a year after an off-duty cop was captured on video kneeling on the neck of a 12-year-old. An off-duty cop? Really? Jesus fucking Christ. At a Wisconsin middle school, her family filed a lawsuit alleging he violated her constitutional rights. The federal civil civil rights lawsuit was filed against Officer Sean the City of Kenosha and the Kenosha Unified School District on Monday in the U.S. District Court of Eastern District of Wisconsin. He had to. She was a very strong 12-year-old. True. The suit was filed by Jarrell Paris, the father of the victim, and the student identified only as Jane Doe because she is a minor. In March of 2022, the incident at Lincoln Middle School, the officer, who also worked as a security guard at the school, had broken up a fight between Jane Doe and another girl in the 6th grade cafeteria class. 6th grade class in the cafeteria. According to the school surveillance, he fell on the ground with Jane Doe after separating the girls. Then he then pushed her head onto the floor and put his knee on her neck for about half a minute before handcuffing her. Is this like standard procedure for police officers? Like, what the fuck? These freaks are never off duty in their heads. Yeah, I mean, like, and the response is to push her head into the floor. Mind you, a sixth grader, and then immediately put the knee on the neck. Like, this must be some kind of, like, standard procedure. I don't give a shit, like, what cops say and what police departments say, because they tend to lie a lot. And, you know, they'll try to deflect, like, oh, well, that's not department policy. Really? Then why the fuck does it keep happening? Explain that to me. Well, you know, the officer acted against policy, department policy. Well, damn. It seems like it keeps happening. So either they're being taught this as kind of like a response in training, which you're going to need to explain that. Why do they keep doing that? Or B, you're saying it's part of department policy. Maybe on paper it might be department policy, but it might be an unspoken part of policy to do these kind of things, or accepted behavior, or it's an accepted course of action. Cops in our city killed 2 unsheltered people in separate incidents doing that in the last year. That's so messed up. That's so effed up. A federal judge has set the date for Trump's rape and defamation trial to begin April 25th. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's a civil case. I guess, like, the only thing is, like, that we'll find out is that, like, yeah, he's a rapist too. I mean, who could have seen that one coming? 8 more Memphis cops are about to be disciplined. I mean, that's good. But the real response, honestly, is that all of them are basically accessory. Anyone who is on scene, who is involved in that incident, in the murder of Tyree Nichols, anyone who was there, is basically an accessory, if not outright. Either an accessory or an outright murder themselves for not stopping it, not intervening, trying to cover up whatever. I mean, it should, in an ideal scenario, all of them All of them should have been charged. Did you see they realized that one of the cops texted out a photo of Tyree after the beating? Holy shit. No. Like as a look what we did kind of deal. Was it one of the 5 that were initially arrested for murder? Or was it like another like related cop that got there? Oh, it was one of the 5? Not sure? Gotcha. They're sick. The whole environment, the whole from training to the mentality, it's all fucked up. Sent it to the yeah, like this is some sick this is some like really sick behavior. All of these cops that were involved in this incident should be charged with accessory or outright second degree murder. Yeah, the entire thing from like top to bottom is just like it is completely fucked. Yeah, it's just wild. The lawsuit alleged that this cop used excessive force in arresting Doe, and that the city of Kenosha and Kenosha Unified School District did not provide him with any training regarding the security guard job, thus failing to prevent the incident. It wouldn't have, because he's a cop. NBC News reached out to city of Kenosha. Like, yeah, training isn't the problem, okay? Training isn't the problem. Funding isn't the problem, okay? And what I mean by that is, like, throwing more money at the cops for quote-unquote training is bullshit. It's not solving the problem here. The problem is the entire institution. The culture from top to bottom. The entire institution is fucked. And it is not out of pocket to say, well, maybe we should rethink how we do this. From top to bottom. Attorney Sam Hall is representing the Kenosha Unified School District, and the cop said in a statement, the district will vigorously defend itself and the cop in the civil litigation. Hall said that Milwaukee County District Attorney's Office notified the Kenosha County District last week that it will not pursue any charges against the cop. Meanwhile, the police department said he was not found to have violated anyone's civil rights. The suit said that Jane Doe, who had moved to Kenosha in 2021 with her father and siblings, was acting in self-defense and upon provocation of a threat of physical harm into getting into a fight with her peer. At the time of the fight, the cop and a school counselor were supervising the students. The counselor advised that she believed true. If I was Christian, they'd be better behaved. True. You're right. But by the time they reached the girls, the other student was hitting Doe, and according to the lawsuit. In the scuffle, the cop fell and Jane Doe fell with him. After the fall, he gripped Doe by the neck and put her on the ground in a prone position. He pushed his right knee onto the back of her neck while simultaneously pushing her head into the cafeteria floor and did not issue any instructions to her. It's not clear if the two had any communication, as the video footage had no audio, and both the student and the cop were wearing masks. The suit said that the police use of force constituted an unlawful chokehold. The use of a chokehold is prohibited by the police department policy, except where deadly force is allowed only as a last resort. Again, on paper, it seems like, the common theme is that they don't allow this to be a thing, but it keeps fucking happening. The suit said a responsible officer would not have believed that use of chokehold was reasonable and necessary. Or maybe they did because that's what they're trained to do. Like, his immediate reaction was to place her in that position. That place had some protester in the Floyd area. Yeah, they did. The suit had the Jane Doe, according to the filing, did not resist and was unable to breathe in the chokehold, and told the police officer that she could not breathe. Still, he kept the pressure on her neck. The police officer later told another Kenosha police officer that same day that he thought one of the girls had punched him. Right. A middle schooler. Right? Keep that in mind in the context of this story. A middle schooler. This officer's use of the chokehold against Jane Doe was motivated by malice and anger at his belief that he was punched. A 12-year-old punched him, so yeah, this is a very normal and natural response. Doe suffered physical injuries, including a traumatic brain injury, a cervical strain, and recurrent headaches, as well as emotional distress, mental trauma, and anxiety. Yeah, dude, this cop gave her a TBI. I heard you were singing the Spank Jimmy Blues on SML, your credit. I wish I knew what that was in reference to. This officer had a reputation for having a short temper. So why was he allowed to continue to be in the police force? Why was he allowed to be employed at a fucking middle school? Before his employment with the city of Kenosha and the school district, he was employed by the Lake Geneva Police Department. In his final year of employment, his field performance was marked as, quote, unacceptable, and he was described as emotional, panicked, or loses their temper. So so basically a cop. I don't know, sounds like just like a standard cop. The lawsuit said that the city of Kenosha and the school district insufficiently assessed his field performance with regards to his duty in Lincoln at Lincoln Middle School. This cop resigned from his role with the school district the same month of the incident. Yeah, perfect to work in a school. True. He was placed on administrative leave by Kenosha Police pending several investigations and returned to active duty status January 31st. The lawsuit said that the incident occurred because Kenosha Police Department's failure to adequately supervise, discipline, or train its employees with regards to secondary employment as school security officers. Further, the city of Kenosha was allegedly aware of his short temper at the time of hiring, but still permitted to become a school security officer. Jesus Christ. Yeah, what could possibly have gone wrong? The suit said that the incident violated Jane Doe's constitutional rights and was a foreseeable and likely consequence of hiring him and in failing to train him in interacting with children in school setting. Yeah, and again, no amount of training was going to fix this. Sorry. The lawsuit also said that the school district did not provide any training to off-duty police officers it employed, and it did not require off-duty officers to receive any training, and in failing to adequately train and supervise such officers, the district was deliberately indifferent to the rights of Jane Doe. Again, no amount of training could have fixed this. The lawsuit seeks compensatory damages in the amount to be determined at trial. Hall, which is the cop's attorney, said his client continues to recover from injuries sustained in the altercation. Altercation? With a fucking middle schooler? As the officers attempting to break up the fight, he was pushed to the ground, his head violently striking a table as he fell to the floor. Officer suffered a concussion, significant swelling, and a contusion to the head during this incident. Despite his injuries, and through the use of a trained law enforcement technique, kneeling on somebody's neck, He was ultimately able to gain control over the student and escorted the student to school administrators and on-duty law enforcement officers. After giving her a TBI and several other injuries. The surveillance footage doesn't show the moment he strikes his head on the table. Several students stand up and block the camera's view, but he is seen falling towards the table. These officers are in Kenosha Unified School because it is the district's highest priority to provide a safe and secure learning environment for its students and staff. We will vigorously defend this piece of shit and his actions. Cool. Nice. Yeah. Ultimately, he was found that he didn't violate anyone's civil rights nor he was found to commit a crime. Furthermore, internal investigation found that this officer was not in violation of the police department policy or procedure. So it is policy and procedure to immediately subdue a person with a knee to the neck. But they just said previously it's in the procedure that you can't do this unless it's like a life or death situation, right? Methinks it's most likely that these cops are lying. While on paper it may appear that they don't allow this kind of technique, it keeps happening, and they admit here that it is actually not in violation of the police department policy or procedure. Even though on paper it says that it would be. All right, let's take a look at this one. The good and the bad of Iowa's bill that would bring big changes to child labor laws. Yep, that's right. In a new bill introduced in Iowa, a legislator could rewrite Iowa's child labor laws to allow teens to work in previously prohibited jobs so long as they're part of an approved training program. It just keeps getting better, folks. As with the existing law, the bill outlines that the jobs that 14 and 17-year-olds can do, like bagging and carrying groceries to cars, clerical work, and prepping and serving food. The bill also maintains a list of jobs kids under 18 can't hold, such as working in slaughterhouses, meat packing or rendering plants, mining, operating power-driven metal forming, punching or shearing machines, operating band or circular saws, guillotine shears or paper ballers, or being involved in roofing operations or demolition work. It makes few modifications, such as removing the prohibition against 14 and 15-year-olds working in freezers and meat coolers. Nice. An entirely new section, the bill would allow the Iowa Workforce Development and State Department of Education heads to make exception to any of the prohibited jobs for 14 to 17 participating in work-based learning or school or employer-administered work-related program. It says those asking for exceptions must demonstrate the activity will be performed under adequate supervision and training, and that training includes adequate safety precautions. And because we all know just how much companies invest to make sure that the equipment and environment is safe. We all know how much Amazon invests in its safety equipment. We all know how these warehouses are. So nothing could possibly go wrong with this. Oh yeah, those underage minors, it's fine. They're interns, and there's adequate safety precautions. We'll get that exemption. It's all good. And the terms and conditions of the proposed employment will not interfere with the health, well-being, or schooling of the minor enrolled in an approved program. Listen up, Gen Z. Get to work. Or I guess the next one, not Gen Z, but the one after it. Get to work, kids. The bill exempts businesses from civil liability. If a student is sickened, injured, or killed due to a company's negligence, a business would also be free of civil liability if a student is hurt because of the teen's negligence on the job, or is injured traveling to or from work. Generation Alpha. Listen up. Get to work. Oh, look, the clown is back for more. Is there a too young to work age in your opinion? For example, should 14-year-olds not be allowed to work at all since they at all as they are now across the US? Yes, they should be in school and getting education. Why would you want kids to be fucking working? This makes no damn sense. In an ideal scenario, you would want kids in school. I don't want 14-year-olds working. I'm asking since this article specified 14-year-olds. Whatever, dude. A company could face a fine. It's so no to 14 through 18. Yes, I said no. Kids shouldn't be fucking working. Full stop. They should be in school. It's really that simple. They should be getting as much support as possible to getting education. Could school be a pathway to trade? To a trade? Sure. But as a concept of like having 14-year-olds working, no. A company could face fines of up to $10,000. I don't know if you're really interested in my perspective, but okay. A company could face a fine of up to $10,000 for violations under the bill, but the state's labor commission could reduce or waive the penalty. So, haha, it's all good, you know. It's perfectly fine because the labor commissioner could reduce or even waive the penalty. Good stuff. I wonder how many like businesses or how much money is being poured to lobby for fucking child labor. Like this is definitely a this is definitely another verdict on capitalism, right? School is no longer needed with ChatGPT. Ha! I know that was sarcasm, but like I can assure you, school is very much needed now more than ever. Yeah, so this is just like essentially attempting to legalize child labor. Yeah. The bill, in addition, would allow 16 and 17-year-olds with the written permission of a parent or legal custodian or guardian to serve alcohol to people who are drinking it on the premise of a business. Nice. Cool. Capitalism. Really, rearing its ugly head, huh? It would, I guess it's trying to say, would allow some children under 16 to drive themselves to work, to work-based programs. The Iowa Department of Transportation says online a student must be 14 and a half years old exactly to obtain a special driver's license. And it would let kids under 16 work until 9 p.m. instead of quitting by 7 p.m. Damn. Oh, man, like, amazing. So not only are we essentially setting up the environment where we have essentially child labor, but now we're going to extend that work until 9 p.m. Because, you know, that makes sense. So I wonder when they're supposed to do homework. I wonder when they're supposed to do homework. After 9 p.m.? After they've done their shift at work? And then to go to sleep, wake up early in the morning, because school is usually very early. Probably won't be able to do homework. Probably won't be able to do good in school. And hey, boom! Now we've got another hamster on the wheel. Spinning that wheel because that's what corporations need. That's what corporations need. Quitting time would be extended to 11 p.m. from June 1 through Labor Day. Nice! To 11 p.m. Oh, man, so much better. Okay, these are just ads. All right. Are they just ads, though? Jesus. Yeah, these are all just random. Okay. MTG cards? All right. If it wasn't for unions and epic battles, literally, yep, we'd have 80 work weeks, no minimum wage, even if it sucks, no child labor laws. True, our capitalist system would have us all slaves, even more so than now. True, if it had its way, more important to keep checks on the system, it will be a forever battle. True, or acknowledge that this is a fuck system and maybe and maybe attempt to thinking about moving beyond it. I don't know about you, but I'm not interested in forever battles. If a system is requiring us to be forever fighting, forever vigilant, watching, forever vigilant, then maybe it's an indictment on the system itself. Maybe it's kind of fucked. Maybe we should look beyond it. Just a thought. But yeah, capitalism is trying to bring back child labor. I guess that's in vogue now. Cool. Very cool. Oh, yeah, I should have gone over this after. Speaking of cops being hot garbage, senior officials ordered destruction of Vallejo police shooting evidence. Just days into the transfer, her transfer to evidence unit 2 years ago, Vallejo police assistant Tina Encarnacion made her way to the tall metal cabinet known as the homicide bookshelf and pulled out case 12-11085. Encarnacion found herself holding a case file for the notorious killing of Mario Romero, a young father whose death at the hands of Vallejo police in 2012 sparked a citywide protest. Encarnacion documented her next steps in a public servant's efficient prose. For city attorney, this case had been approved for dismissal. She wrote in the file's evidence log at 2:31 p.m., final disposition destroyed. Over the next several days, Encarnacion would empty box after box of evidence of police shootings into a large city dumpster. In January 2021, officials for the city of Vallejo intentionally and with approval from a senior attorney for the city destroyed key evidence in multiple police killings and one non-fatal shooting. Documents obtained in a public record lawsuit filed by Open Vallejo show the city destroyed the records, although many were set to be disclosed under California's transparency laws, a potential crime according to a motion filed by this newsroom last month. To uncover how the evidence came to be destroyed by a department already under investigation by the state attorney general over the number and nature of its police shootings, Open Vallejo amended its public record lawsuit, deposed multiple city employees, and prompted the release of hundreds of pages of logs, reports, and internal communications. Together, the files revealed the city's troubling pattern of anti-transparent practices in the wake of a new law that opened police shooting records to the public scrutiny. The files also showed that the January 2021 purge violated city policy and potentially Vallejo's agreement with the California Department of Justice. Though the city produced emails to Open Vallejo, which appeared to show city attorney Caitlin Knight authorizing the destruction of evidence in 5 cases in an interview on Friday, City Attorney Veronica Nebb said the purge had not been officially approved by her office because additional mandatory steps had not been followed. In court filings last year, Knight asserted that the destruction was inadvertent. Sure. Inadvertent. A casual oopsies, if you will. Where this police department decided that they were going to torch a fuck ton of evidence on police shooting cases. Yep. Cool. An investigation by Open Vallejo shows that the evidence purge in the 5 cases occurred over the course of nearly 2 weeks, that Knight seemingly approved it. Yeah, no shit. And that the supervising detective who triggered the case's destruction was involved in all of them. A 6th case was also purged, although details surrounding its destruction remain unclear. Now, Open Vallejo has asked the Solano County judge overseeing this lawsuit, Stephanie Gizzi, to order that Vallejo implement measures to prevent improper purges and to consider referring the matter for criminal prosecution. Encarnacion declined to comment for the story. Knight and a spokesperson for City of Vallejo did not respond to a request for comment. I was enraged. I was screamed, and I was enraged. And Public Records Coordinator Joni Brown testified about her reaction to discovering that the evidence was gone. We're in collaboration with an agreement with the DOJ. She said in a May 5th deposition, they shouldn't be deleting anything right now at all. In a motion filed on behalf of the city, Knight stated that the review by the California DOJ did not change the city's timeline for destroying records and that the DOJ had not requested the now purged evidence. Yeah, sorry. I don't believe you. Sorry, I don't believe you. The destruction encompassed hundreds of pieces of physical and audiovisual evidence for the 6 police shootings that occurred in 2012 to 2013, two of the department's bloodiest years in decades. The purged items include firearm evidence, interviews with witnesses and shooting officers, clothing from victims, fingerprints, lab photographs, and detectives' case files, according to the property list obtained by Open Vallejo. Thanks, I hit this. Yep. Me too. While documents, photographs, as well as video and audio files are subject to disclosure under state transparency laws, physical items such as firearms or clothing generally are not. Documents indicated that some of the destroyed recordings had captured the victims' words or actions in the minutes before their deaths, as in the case of 43-year-old Marshall Tobin, where surveillance footage from the business captured the killing. Among the items to have been spared from the purge were a few $100s kept for departmental use from the victims, including $132.30 that belonged to Romero. How convenient! The money was spared. Wow, how convenient! Damn. You know, the coincidences on this is just unreal. Isn't wild that, like, you know, it just happened to be that the money was the thing that got saved? Nice. All 6 shootings involved at least one officer linked to the agency's Badge of Honor scandal revealed by Open Vallejo in 2020, in which officers bend the tips of their badges each time they kill in the line of duty. Jesus Christ. That is wild. A police department that is endorsing and allowing this behavior should immediately be disbanded and rebuilt from the ground up. There is no other option except disbanding this entire police department from bottom up. If you have a police department completely allowing this kind of behavior, it's just unacceptable. Designated by officials as the person most qualified to answer questions about the city public record practices, Joni Brown testified at the May 5th deposition that multiple safeguards should have prevented police personnel from destroying this evidence. The purge violated a city policy that requires written approval from the city attorney and clerk office, according to Brown, who testified that the proper form and signatures were never obtained. In a subsequent deposition, December 21st, Senior Vallejo Police Assistant Stephanie Daly, the civilian employee who manages the evidence section, said that she was unaware of the policy until the week of her last testimony. Yeah, it's like a proper criminal record. I agree with that solution in many cases, but the authority to do so is usually at the local level. Yeah, I mean, they would have to, like, get together and immediately disband this police department and rebuild it. Yeah, this would be on the city level as far as we know. Yeah, it is a proper criminal ring over here. Yeah. They're a gang. They're essentially a gang. Another reason to safeguard the files, Brown said, was the city's reform agreement with the California DOJ. This agreement grants state investigators access to any and all VPD records, files, and other materials aside from attorney-client privilege information. As part of the review, the state DOJ served multiple investigative subpoenas commanding Vallejo to produce police records, including material related to police shootings, such as body camera footage and reports by a department's review board, Public Records Show, which, well, they're gone, at least a lot of them. No item requested herein shall be destroyed or discarded without permission. The first of at least 3 subpoenas read. The first subpoena, served in May of 2020, demanded records created and maintained or altered since 2015 and did not specifically list the 6 cases. The other subpoenas have not been made public, although most of the records in the destroyed case would have been created before 2015. Documents indicate that some of the purge cases were accessed between 2015 and 2021. In court papers, the city stated that the subpoena did not seek the records that were purged. Open Vallejo also sought the subpoenas in course of its litigation with the city, but received no response. In December of 2020, concerned about the pace of production of subpoenaed records, an attorney with the state DOJ Civil Rights Enforcement Section emailed Vallejo officials and asked that they complete production by February 15th of 2021. Weeks before that deadline, between January 11th and 20, the records in the 5 shootings were destroyed. The records obtained by Open Vallejo do not show when the evidence from the fatal shootings of Sherman Peacock were purged. California DOJ officials would not confirm whether they sought the specific records that the city discarded. The agency denied a public record request by Open Vallejo for the other 2 subpoenas and other documents, citing a legal exception for records relating to an investigation into potential violations of the law. I mean, I think we're starting to get the picture here. This is an entire scheme by this, or at least this is what the picture is. This is an entire scheme by this police department to conveniently destroy files of police shootings. The only response here is essentially to disband this entire department and start from top to bottom, really. That's the only viable solution if you've got such levels of collusion here. Destroying evidence? No. Conveniently, some of these didn't go through like proper channels. Yeah, nope, sorry. The entire thing got to go at that point. There's nothing to salvage there, nothing to reform there, nothing to train there. There should be a national database of all files involving cop shootings or death and injury while in custody. That would be another way of kind of having a redundancy. But yeah, like that's a good backup plan. Should be, yeah, you're right. There should be like a standard kind of deal like that. But really it's the behavior, the behavior here, there's nothing, yeah, they won't do it. That's true. Yeah, this entire department is done from top to bottom. Should be immediately disbanded and rebuilt. One which would promote confidence in the public servants that police officers are supposed to be. Not this shit. Definitely not this. All right, folks, we have one more story. Before I finish this story here, if you guys have a moment and you guys want to support the channel, feel free if you haven't already done so. Click the follow button. You get 6 free emotes, including 2 Bakita the Cat emotes. And if you want to go above and beyond in supporting this channel without spending a single penny, head on over to the YouTube channel, click the big red subscribe button, and spread the word. Far and wide, we're here Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I will say this. You can also join the come on, computer. There we go. You can also join the Discord to get any updates on the channel. But I will say this, on the 31st, on the 1st of March, sorry, not May, March, On the 1st of March, I believe there will be no stream, but of course I post any updates on the Discord. All right. The DC judge argues the 13th Amendment prohibiting slavery, kind of, asterisk, may provide constitutional right to abortion. Federal Judge Colleen Koyar Kotelly proposed on Monday, yesterday, a constitutional right to abortion may have been found in the 13th Amendment, an area she said was ignored by the Supreme Court when it overturned Roe v. Wade last June. Weighing in on a case involving several anti-abortion advocates accused of blocking access to an abortion clinic in Washington, D.C., the U.S. District Court Judge Koyar Kotelly argued that the 13th Amendment outlawing an involuntary servitude may guarantee the constitutional right to an abortion, which the court did not find it existed in Dobbs v. Jackson, which was the case that ultimately overturned Roe v. Wade. But yeah, let's see. It is entirely possible that the court might have held in Dobbs that some other provision of the Constitution provided a right to access to reproductive service had that issue been raised. However, it was not raised. The issue before the court in Dobbs was not whether or not any provision of the Constitution provided a right to an abortion, but rather, the questions before the court in Dobbs was whether the 14th Amendment to the Constitution provided such a right. The 13th Amendment was ratified at the end of the Civil War in 1865, outlining that neither slavery nor involuntary servitude shall exist within the United States. And of course, the entire premise of the abortion debate is bodily autonomy. And I think that this is where the argument is going to go. Koyar Kotelly cited legal scholars such as Andrew Koppelman, author of Forced Labor, a 13th Amendment defense of abortion in making her case. Forced pregnancy's violation of personal liberty is obvious. Yes, bodily autonomy. That's the whole crux of it. Restrictions on abortion also violate the amendment's guarantee of equality because forcing women to be mothers makes them into what so much tradition defined them as a servant caste, a group that by virtue of a status of birth is held subject to a special duty to serve others and not themselves. Damn. What a fucking great way of putting it. Among the defendants in the case is Lauren Handy, founder of the organization Mercy Mission, known for protesting outside abortion clinics. Because the group was arrested in March of 2022, just months before the Supreme Court ruled that the Constitution does not confer a right to an abortion, the defendants now insist that legal charges against them are no longer applicable. There's no longer a federal constitution interest to protect, and Congress lacks jurisdiction, said Handy's lawyers, explained in a statement obtained by Politico. The Dobbs court did not indicate that there is no longer a constitutional right to an abortion. The court has made clear that there never was. Koyar Kotelly was appointed to the district court for the District of Columbia in 1997 by President Bill Clinton. In 2017, Koyar blocked President Trump's order banning transgender people from serving in the military. Yeah, this is why elections are so important. So important. Elections have consequences, folks. What can I say? Elections have consequences. Sounds legit. Yeah, it does. Sounds A-okay to me. Whew. All right, folks, we did it. We made it, folks. All right, folks, I got to head on out of here. I appreciate all the support. They sparked new secession movement in the South, too. Oh, man. No one's going to secede. I don't think they would. They're just a bunch of clowns. I'd ride my back as fast as possible to catch the stream. Ah, Jesus, SV Harkin. I appreciate the dedication. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's wild. In and of itself, that's massive. Thank you for supporting the stream, SV Harkin. Thank you for being a viewer. The big thing tonight is the State of the Union. Yeah, that's true. That's true. State of the Union, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, about 2 hours from now. Thank you. I appreciate that, SV Harkin. Thank you all for the support. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for all the subs, the biddies, the follows, everything. You guys are what makes this channel grow. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for streaming. Thank you. I appreciate it. Peace. Thank you, Maple Leaf Dragon, for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you all. You guys are what makes this stream go. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. We'll be here tomorrow. 5 p.m. Protons, electrons always cause explosions. Huh. Yeah. I guess they can. Peace. Ironically. I like that. That's an interesting is it acronym? Probably. Appreciate you stopping by, Holy City. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Alfio, and I hope to see you guys in the next one tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya. Hang tight, folks. Alright, folks. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.